G'day guys, Mac with the Outer Circle, and I saw there is a new Horus Heresy Clash up today online. Sorry I haven't put out any videos in the last week. I'm just been flat out with real life, unfortunately. Work just goes that way. And adult things take precedence over my childish dreams of playing with toy soldiers. So, exemplary battles, it seems. White Scars Destroyers at a glance, and Sun Killers for Emperor's Children. Fantastic. Okay, let's see what we have here. So, first things first, the Destroyers for the White Scars, unnecessary and undesired. What the White Scars needed, in my humble opinion, is Sagyar Mazan. So Sagyar Mazan, which is a sort of Shattered Legions unit, it's a Legion unit which is made up of the people who were going to side with Horus against their Primarch's desires, and then upon finding out that the Primarch didn't want to side with Horus, they were shamed into essentially becoming suicide squads to redeem their honor. That, to me, is more interesting than Destroyers, because you could make a totally new and very different unit. You could make something that's closer to Legion veteran tactical Marines as opposed to a Destroyer squad. A unit which has access to things like Thunderhammer and Storm Shield, for example. They classically ambush Mortarion with a squad of Thunderhammer and Storm Shield. Reasoning being that, hey, with these Storm Shields, they kind of stand a chance. Not a great one, but a chance against Mortarion and his Death Shroud. That's an interesting, unique unit to me, and you can have fun special rules in there, like can't be joined by certain characters, like they're like the Ebon Kashyyyk in a way. They could have the same rule as the Ebon Kashyyyk, which means they can only be joined by characters which have the same rule that they do. They could have done something more unique than Legion Destroyers, because this is, the third or fourth set of Legion unique Destroyers we've got. We've had the Poisoners, we had the, I think it was the Nemesis Tactical Squad of the Ultramarines, we had the Red Hands of the World Eaters. I think we're starting to wear a little bit thin on Destroyer squads, guys. And it's not showing a great deal of imagination over at the writing team at Forge World / Games Workshop, because they're doing potentially great work in this space, but yeah, I'm just not feeling that. Legion Elite Terminators, Legion, Destroyer Squad, that seems to be the two main flavors. But hey, Sun Killers, that I can get behind. In fact, I believe I did a video, I know I did a video talking about Legion units I would like to see in regards to one of these earlier releases. I think it was the Imperial Fist Huskar one. Just saying that, hey, wouldn't it be great if they, there's so many unique Legion units available in the lore, why don't you focus on some of those? And yes, Sun Killers was one of the top ones on my list. So let's see what the rules are like for these guys. So I won't go through the exemplary battle itself. I always save those for later. Okay, 250 points base is steep. But what are they coming with? Las Cannons. Okay, that's not steep then. That is, and Ballistic Skill 5. That's really good. Las Cannons are a very expensive upgrade for squads in Horus Heresy. Regular Legion Heavy Support Marines are somewhere around 125 points, something like that off the top of my head. And I think it's like 20 points a model for a Las Cannon. It's a lot. So having it built in here, really cool. Interesting as well to note, they do not seem to have Void Hardened armor. They actually just have regular power armor, which is fine, but sort of most Legion heavy support squads tend to come with Void Hardened armor or the ability to upgrade to Void Hardened armor. This squad does not. The Precision Fire rule and Fortify Position must be two unique ones we're going to come across, but they're going to gain almost nothing from the Legiones Astartes Emperor's Children special rule. It pretty much gives nothing to these units. It's all based around charge-specific bonuses. So, yay. But the squad can kind of fight, having Bolt Pistol and Chainsword as standard, which is sort of a unique thing among heavy support, is they're going to be at least wielding 2 attacks in close combat, 3 on the charge if they find themselves in the unenviable position of having to charge some backline unit that's made its way into their area. Even 5 of these guys will at least hit with 15 attacks. But the sergeant, the Novator of the squad, only 1 attack. That's what? So moving down, dedicated transport can take a Rhino or a Land Raider Proteus. That's fine. Up to 15 additional Sunkillers at 40 points a pop. So you're paying 20-ish points per Marine. Over a standard Legion Heavy Support Marine, you're paying probably, I think, around 5 points extra, which is giving you that plus on ballistic skill and whatever their 2 special rules are that we'll get to further on, I'm sure. 15, that's a big squad. That's a big squad. You're talking like an 800-point squad here. 15 by 40 is what, 600 points. Plus that 250 points for this squad. Oof, jeez. Any model in the unit may exchange their las cannon for one of the following: Volkite Culverin, Plasma Cannon, Multi-Melter. For free. No. So, okay, so now we run into a bit of a problem here, in that they've given the squad the most expensive weapon as their starting weapon, which is the las cannon. It's objectively a downgrade to go down to those other weapons, based on the way that they cost those weapons across the Horus Heresy. Multi-Melters, Plasma Cannons, and Volkite Culverins are all significantly cheaper in general than a las cannon. And the Volkite, the Volkite Culverin's in a different league. It's a sustained output of fire versus a single hard-hitting las cannon round. And the Multi-Melter is just, unless you're at point-blank range, it's just worse. And if the squad doesn't have the ability to move and fire, then how are you going to close the range to really make use of that Multi-Melter? And again, a lot of the targets you want to be hitting with Multi-Melters are things like Land Raiders and Spartans. And Land Raiders and Spartans always have armored Ceramites. You're not hurting them with Multi-Melters. So, very strange that they're quote-unquote free choices. I mean, a Volkite Culverin is significantly cheaper. I think it's a free upgrade to Heavy Bolters, which are what Heavy Support Marines come with. So, yeah, you should be getting a massive points reduction. It shouldn't say free, it should say something like minus 10 points per model to go to a Volkite Culverin, in my humble opinion. Also, would it be possible to join the, I believe it's the Armistos console, the heavy support guy? Would it be possible to join him to this squad? I doubt it. Anyway, Novator may take any of the following: Augury Scanner, yes, that's a must-take. Melter Bombs, questionable. If you can't kill them with 10 las cannons or whatever, you're not killing them with a Melter Bomb. Artificer Armor, again, pretty questionable in this squad. I guess you could tank shots on him. Maybe. Novator may exchange his las cannon for one of the following. Oh, he can take a bolt gun for free. Wow, that is a worthwhile upgrade. That's definitely the equivalent of a las cannon. I'm sorry, guys, this is what we call bad rules writing. You start him with a bolter, and you start the squad with Volkite Culverins, and you give them las cannons as an option for free. If you really want the unit to be armed with las cannons because it's more true to the background lore, then you don't give them the option of those other weapons. You just don't put them on the table, right? Does that make sense? And giving him a charnable blade or a power weapon is a waste on a one-attack model. I'm sorry. He's going to be, at best case, attacking with 3 attacks. That's pathetic. On the charge with pistol, no. Just no. Precision fire. Any enemy model that suffers a wound, penetrating hit, or glancing hit inflicted with a shooting attack made by a model with this weapon that is not moving in the preceding movement phase may not take cover saves. So again, that precision fire is really rewarding you for things like the las cannons. You're going to find it much, much harder to get those sort of wounds, penetrating hits, etc. with Volkites, for example. They just don't have the AP or the high enough strength to do it. Las cannons in this case are going to mean that you're ignoring the blocking, that kind of thing, and because it is it's dependent on whether or not the enemy model has moved as well. So yeah, it's going to be strong against models that sit stationary, like other heavy support squads, so Iron Warriors, that kind of thing, but Yeah. Look, any smart player with a thud gun or something like that is hiding that shit where you can't see it. Fortified position. In games that allow the use of fortifications, Emperor's Children's Sun Killer Squad that is not selected a dedicated transport may instead select an Aegis defense line without using a force or org choice, but the cost in points must be counted towards the army total. May be upgraded with a single item from the obstacles and battlefields list as per Age of Darkness rulebook. So overall, this squad I'm going to call a 6 out of 10. And it's only getting to 6 because of the rule of cool. The special rules are middling at best, but the overall situation here is clearly one of a unit that needs to be worked on, modified, something like that. It's too expensive for what it is, and the alternate weapons options and equipment they're being given are being listed as free. But because the base weapons have been loaded up so much on the points, I mean, you get that Novator, that sergeant of this squad, and you give him a bolt gun. You have paid over 40 points for a ballistic skill 5 bolt gun with 1 wound, 1 attack. His stat lines are mostly 4s. That is absolutely atrocious. And the fact that he has a power weapon or a charmable blade as backups is, again, stupid with so few attacks. So bad rules writing there. Overall 6 out of 10, and it's only getting that high because of the background of the unit and the fact it's not a destroyer or an elite Terminator squad. This is really a 4 out of 10 unit if it was not for that rule of cool. So moving down to the White Scars, the Dark Sons of Death. They seem to be literally a stock standard destroyer variant for this legion as opposed to being Sagir Mazan. So straight away, deduction in the rule of cool. They come with jump packs. They're not even giving you the option of whether or not you take jump packs, because having a score like this and the ability to take something like a Grav Rhino potentially down the line, how cool would that be? Well, I guess it's not happening. Okay, stat line is fine. 2 attacks each is good. Bolt pistol, chainsaw, crack, and frag. Rad grenades, all good. No hardened armor, in contrast to most Legion Destroyer units. Okay. Invocation, the Raising Tempest, counterattack, Stormseer's Conclave Ritual makes. They've got a fair few special rules here. 145 for 5 is not terrible. Not at all terrible. 10 additional Dark Suns, 20 points each, not terrible, given the base war gear. I mean, the jump pack and those stats alone is solid. And the rad grenades is 10 points, and yeah, it works out. Animal exchange their chainsword for a power glaive for 10 points each. Whoa. Okay, that's brutal. Power glaives, for those who don't know, count as a power sword if you like, or you can wield them two-handed for a power axe at initiative. So they only have 2 attacks each, but it's 3 on the charge, and they're going to be dropping you by -1 toughness because of their rad grenades. These dudes could cut down Terminators more effectively than, well, Phoenix Terminators could do the job on the charge, I think. Again, points for points. And they're fast. They will get that charge. And they're not relying on the charge to do it. I mean, they can do it as a reaction. They've got counterattack, and Power Glaives do not require charging for that bonus. That is super strong. Super, super strong. For 30 points a model, I mean, it's not even that cheap to give a Power Glaive to independent characters. It's twice that, or more. For every 1 in 5, may exchange a bolt pistol for a plasma pistol or a hand flamer. Screw that. Every 1 in 5 may take a melter gun, flame, or a plasma gun. Take a melter gun if you're going to do it. Melter gun, and then arm the rest of the squad with Power Glaives, and then just lick the tears off your opponent. Jesus. Death Champion may exchange their chainsword for Power Weapon, Power Fist, single lightning core, pair of lightning cores. You can take a plasma pistol, hand flamer, artificer. Give him the artificer armor, and give him a Power Fist. So the rest of the squad can cut down Terminators fast at initiative with their glaives, but having the Artificer Armor and Power Fist gives you that way of instant deathing toughness 8 and a bit more of a fighting chance against things like monstrous creatures. Okay, how many special rules? Maybe take as a retinue for any librarian with a jump pack. That's pretty cool, pretty fluffy, but librarians suck. Invocation of the Raging Tempest. Once per game at the start of the White Scar player's turn before the start of the movement phase. The White Scars player may declare they're activating the Invocation for the rest of the player turn. A unit may have models with special rule, and any librarian that joins them gains the Fleet and Rage special rules. Holy... Okay. So, re-rolling charge distances, which means you want to use your jump pack to do the move. So, move up to 12 inches with the squad. Charge 2d6, and re-rolling the charge if you fail because of the Fleet. And then... Rage, so you're going to 4 attacks each, add initiative and AP 2. Ugh, that's terrifying thought to be charged. How many can you get in a squad? 15. 15. That's a lot of attacks. And 15 is not that expensive, really. Like, loaded out 15... with Power Glaives is under 500 points, just. And Ritual of Unmaking. When a unit may have most special rules, calls upon to make sweeping advance, may choose to automatically fail at sweeping advance if they choose to do so. All enemies with at least one model within 6 inches. After a consolidation moves, must take a leadership test. If the test is failed, the enemy suffers a -1 penalty to their weapon skill until the end of the controlling player's next turn. How bizarre. It's a very interesting special rule. So essentially you could hack up an enemy unit. If you kill them outright, you won't get this. But you hack them down, don't chase them. So don't finish them off, and try and neg one the enemies around you. There's no negative penalties to it, but it doesn't seem to be an actual test because of like pinning or fear or anything like that. So it's not a psychology test as such. Therefore, things like Custodes would have to actually do it. Units of the Fearless would have to do it. Something like Castellax or Thalax that do not have good weapon skill, this would pay off on. But your weapon skill is already better than theirs, and dropping them by -1 isn't going to make a difference in the current game. I mean, in theory, in the future, potential Horus Heresy 2.0, it could make a big difference, but weapon skill differences mean more in that leak. Pretty middling special rule, but that Invocation of the Raging Tempest combined with a unit full of Power Glaives is... It's kind of like a faster hitting, slightly more brittle version of Invictus Suzerain, basically. It's exactly what this is. They are a lot faster, easier to kill, but they're a lot faster, and they're going to get those attacks off. Like, this squad could just... I mean, if you had a full 15 of them, using that rage on the charge, with glaives, you're talking... Well, let me think... 56 weapon skill 4, strength 5, AP 2 initiative attacks. That's... I mean, attach a chaplain to them. There's nothing saying you can't. So attach a chaplain to them and get some hatred up on these boys. And that is just going to absolutely... You're paying a bit of points. I mean, at 15 of them with a chaplain or with glaives and a couple of melter... I suppose if you give a couple melter guns, you don't give them all glaives, then maybe you'd knock that down to, say, 48. But still, 48 attacks with hatred... AP2 initiative. Ooh. Terminators will not survive that. You could out-damage Red Butchers with these guys on the charge. You would comfortably knock out Justirian, Death Shroud, anything like that in squads of probably 7. You would kill them. Just outright kill them. Yeah, Oof. Look, the unit may have the flavour of a piece of granite. It'll be like licking a rock and your mouth will just taste of sand afterwards because it's yet another Destroyer squad, but it's a darn strong one. Very strong one. And pointlessly so, because these guys, the Sun Killers, they're the real MVP. And, geez, wouldn't they look good if they still made Emperor's Children torsos and you didn't have to 3D print them or buy them from more unscrupulous casters with a little, Palatine Aquila across the chest instead of just plain boring Mark IV armor. Oh, Forge World. Anyway, that's all from me, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all again on the next one.